Hey guys, Kyber66 Pojo here. I'm here to talk about nationals. I'm kind of late with my video, like 2 weeks late-ish. I've been on vacation. I went to nationals, and then straight from nationals I went on vacation. So I haven't really had access to all my stuff that records videos and stuff. So nationals. Um, First of all, they gave out, everyone who participated, they gave out sleeves that look like this. It is really shiny. The guy, or the judges, the head judge at Nationals actually said that these were illegal for play that day at Nationals, these sleeves, because they were too glossy and that the shine was too shiny. Because the front is pretty shiny too. So I played with these without knowing that, and I luckily didn't get caught, or because I know that they did actually make people do re-sleeving because of these sleeves at the tournament. They gave out a mat to everybody that participated too. So this is the mat. Let's see if I can get all that in there. There you go. See all of it. Hopefully you can. It's pretty nice, I guess. Personally, not a fan of 6 Sams, so probably won't be using it too much. But no, it's not for sale or trade. It was my first nationals, so I guess it's kind of cool just to keep the mat. Also, kind of helps you remember that Sams were actually one of the bigger decks of the format, unlike Infernities last year. They gave out Infernity mats last year at last year's Nationals, and a lot of people didn't really like that because they weren't huge. They were just kind of there. So, the deck I ran at Nationals was GBs, Gladiator Beasts. I took those. I sold my plants and all that stuff just because it was like the biggest deck of the format. It was going to get hit by the Vandalist. It's going to get hit. It has to. Especially like Reborn Tengu and things like that. It's gonna get hit. And I knew going into Nationals that if I was gonna have the plant deck, I might have done better than I did, but I wouldn't be able to build a new deck after that unless I randomly got a bigger source of money. Just because they're gonna get hit, no one's gonna want to buy the cards, and it's just gonna be worthless. But GBs will not get touched because there's no reason to touch them, and they're still actually really good. And for some reason, every new format they have, Gladiator Beasts are always at the very, very top. At the beginning of every new format, just because everything has been hit down so hard that nobody's really sure what to play, and so everything they try to play doesn't really work because everything got hit and nerfed, and everything's just got all kinds of ban written all over it. But GBs are always still really competitive at that point and do really well. So I was actually doing that just to be, excited. Oh, and then Legendary Collection 2, the stuff was the information for most of the cards in there were released, and they're basically reprinting every common Gladiator Beast and a couple of the already shiny Gladiator Beasts into holographic forms. So we're gonna be able to finally get, like Ultra or Secret Darius and a Quest and Hoplimus even, so it's pretty cool. I'm excited about that. My record was X4 on day one. There were 9 rounds day one. It was 1,800 something people there, biggest nationals they've ever had. You had to be X2 and 1 to make it to day 2. So you had to have, what's that, 19 points, I believe. 19? I think it was 19 points. You had to have 19 points in order to make it onto day 2. So, yeah, it didn't happen. I went X and 4. Pretty much lost to... I got sacked by Sam's round 1. Round 1, it was like game 1, he opened with the nuts. He had like, he had Gateway and a United. He had double Xian and a Barkion. all on like turn 1. I hadn't drawn anything yet, and I was just looking at my hand. I had 4 glads, 7 tools, and then I drew into a compulsory. So there was literally nothing I could do, because he could negate the compulsory, and then, ooh, big deal, I could negate one of his trap cards at the cost of 1,000 life points. Whee! And, you know, none of my monsters could get over anything. So I was kind of screwed. Yeah, that didn't go over. Game 2, I went first, but I opened really bad again. Almost all monsters again, which is kind of dumb with the Gladiator Beast deck. And he opened with even more of the nuts. He had Gateway and Double United with monsters in hand and was able to get out basically the exact same field. And I just couldn't recover. So he destroyed me. And then basically every loss after that was plants. No, I lost to Machinas once. Machines, yeah, like gadgets with Machina Fortress and stuff. And it was because turn 1, I won the die roll. I remember winning the die roll because it was the first die roll I had won all day. And it was like round 5 or 6. And I opened with no monsters and double chariot, so I couldn't use either of the chariots because I had no monsters. And he pretty much like spammed me with monsters and beat me. And then game 2, I went first again after I sided in like 2 cards, I think. Maybe. I don't even remember what I sided in. Oh well. Anyway, I drew into no monsters again, and I had 1 chariot that time, but no monsters again. And I was able to stall him out for a couple turns with trap cards and stuff, but it got to the point where I remember I top decked a Darius, and I was like, yes, a monster, summon, in Solemn Warning, of course, you know, it's like, oh, wonderful. And then he beat me, because I couldn't draw anything. It was no monsters at all that entire time. So it was like the complete opposite of the Sam thing, and I don't know, it was a bad time. But then I lost to Tour Guide Plants. They just tore me apart. They were just too fast. I couldn't keep up. Yugi and Yusei were there. The voices for Yami, Yugi, and Yusei were there. Greg Abbott, I think it's Abby, Greg Abbey, and Dan Green. Greg Abbey was Yusei, and Dan Green was Yami Yugi, so the Pharaoh. That was pretty cool. They did a lot of cool little voiceover things, and they would just be talking, like at the player meeting. They did their whole, like, it's time to duel, and let's rev it up thing right before we all started playing. It was pretty funny. And then they did other things throughout the day, and the multiple days. They ended up dueling each other. Like, they went and sat down at the table where they did the feature matches, and they dueled each other. And as they were dueling, you know, they'd summon their cards and they'd be like, you know, I summon Dark Magician. They like voiced everything out and like attacked the life points, and they made the noise like ah when they took damage. It was the greatest thing ever. Everyone was roaring in like laughter and applause. It was awesome. Really really funny. A lot of nostalgia there. It was like watching the TV show. Then they were signing stuff. I got them to sign. I got Yugi, Dan Green, to sign my Monster Reborn and a Spore, because we all know how much I love spores. So he signed a Spore. Yay! And then I had Yusei sign my Stardust Dragon and a Spore, because I love my spores. Now, I love Yusei's signature. If you look at the signatures, Yusei's is the cooler signature. So I kind of like this Spore more, but this one's Yugi. But for some reason, I really don't like how he did his Ys. Look at his Y. Do you see his Ys? I hate them. I'm very annoyed with the Ys. I just don't like them to the point where I almost don't want to run this card. But I'm going to keep both of them in my binder. They're not for sale or trade. It's just kind of cool to have them. You could tokenize yourself. They had a machine there. They would take your picture and put you on a background and print it out as a token. So yes, there is a token of me giving a thumb. You can't see it because I have terrible camera quality. But that's me giving thumbs up like this with Yugi in the background. I was going to get it signed by Dan Green, but I kind of ran out of time to go over to his booth and stuff, so I wasn't able to get it signed. But it's still pretty cool. It's an official token. It's labeled as WCQ 2011. That's like the little tag, like where they would have the name of the pack, like in oh no, it isn't. That's where they usually have like first edition. And then it says EV11-EN007. I'm guessing the 7 is because this was the 7th of 7 backgrounds. But it's pretty cool. It says, you know, this card can be used as any token, has all the like copyright stuff. The back is like this. It's really thick cut, you know, so I'm gonna have to go over it with like a paper cutter or whatever those things are called and trim it down to normal card size, put it in a sleeve, and that's pretty cool. Oh, I did do a side event, and I did retro draft. I don't know if you guys know what retro draft is. You go into a group. It's 8 people, and everybody gets 1 pack of retro pack 2. Everybody opens the pack. Everybody picks 1 card that they like from the pack. 1 card. Nobody else gets to see the pack. You just pick 1 card and you put it face down. You take the rest of the pack and pass it to the person on your right. Now once everybody's picked 1 card, everybody picks up the new set of cards. So everybody's missing 1 card because someone took their favorite card out of the pack that they opened, and you pick the next card that you want, and then you keep passing to the right until eventually you finish the pack, because everybody keeps passing the rest of the pack until there's no more. And you end up doing that 3 times, so you open 3 packs of retro pack 2. And that was, I did that day 2 or day 3 for me, Sunday, the last day. I did it, so I was done with nationals already. I had already done the main event, which I was really pissed off with. I just wasn't happy with the meta. Everything was so sacky. Reborn Tengu was the most annoying card ever. I was not having a good time on Saturday. I really just didn't enjoy it. I would almost really like to just like go back in time, not even compete in the main event, and just do side events, because the retro draft was like the most fun thing ever. I mean, it was all these old cards like freaking 4-star Ladybug. That thing was the best troll card ever. People would attack it, and when it flips over, it destroys all level 4 monsters on the field. And because we're running retro pack and we're running a 20 card deck that we made when we did the little mini tournament, everybody's monsters were like level 4, so I would like nuke their whole field. It was the greatest thing ever. But I mean, there were just so many bad cards that were so good for that little thing. They didn't give you a ban list. You could use as many copies of a card as you wanted. I had one guy who used Torrential Tribute on me 2 times in a row, and I was freaking. I was like, "Whoa!" And I called over Judge, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, you can do whatever you want. You can have like 8 Torrential Tributes if you wanted to in your deck. It's all legal." And I was like, "That's awesome." But again, it was a great experience. I ended up winning. I got 4 packs of Turbo Pack 5, I think, because I pulled a super rare Laquari. Which I put in my deck since I'm running Glads. That was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, it was a blast. I loved it. I wish I could do it again. So next year when I go, I'm just doing side events. I don't think I'm going to participate in the main event, unless I think that I actually have a shot at topping, which is probably not going to happen. But overall, it was a good experience. And really, like, it made me think about my deck a lot. Like, I've already taken some stuff out and added some new stuff in that I think would be really good tech, especially against today's meta. Like, people would look at it and they would normally like think, what's this guy's problem? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But honestly, yeah, I can see this stuff working. I really can. It's good. It really is. And I don't know. It'll work against today's meta. It's good stuff and all that, you know. So 13 minutes and 30-something seconds. That's like the lengthiest video I've had in a while. Good thing I can upload longer than 15 minutes. I don't think I have anything else that I need to talk about. I will do a deck profile. I will post that up pretty much right now. I'm going to make it as soon as I finish making this video. I'll make the deck profile video. But I'm going to make the deck profile with my current text, like the new cards that I put in. And I'll just tell you what I originally had instead of it. And yeah, it was a pretty good time. So if any of you guys got your invites and couldn't go, I'm sorry you couldn't go. It was really cool. For the people who did come up and say hi to me, thank you for saying hi to me. I really appreciate it. It was really cool to meet all you guys. And yeah, I think that's it. See ya.